புதிய தலைமுறை நேயர்களுக்கு வணக்கம். உங்க அனைவருக்குமே மகளிர் தின நல்வாழ்த்துக்கள். சமீபத்துல பெண்களுக்கும் பெண் குழந்தைகளுக்கும் எதிரான வன்முறைகள் அதிகரித்து வரும் இந்த காலகட்டத்துல கிரண் பேடி மாதிரியான பெண் ஆளுமைகள் என்ன சொல்ல நினைக்கிறாங்க, அவங்களுடைய வழிகாட்டுதல் என்னவா இருக்கு அப்படின்னு பதிவு செய்யற ஒரு முயற்சி தான் இந்த நிகழ்ச்சி. இன்னைக்கு நேர்காணல்ல திருமிகு கிரண் பேடி நம்மளோட இருக்காங்க. அவங்க கூட பேசலாம். Very happy to have you on our show. I would like to first wish you for the Women's Day.
Thank you.
Happy Women's Day, ma'am.
Thank you. Happy Women's Day to you.
Thank you so much. We are sitting here and wishing each other on this occasion of International Women's Day. But I would like to ask you, is India in a state where we can happily celebrate Women's Day? Is there enough security for women citizens in our country now?
Yes, we can celebrate because we've come a long way to celebrate. After I'm a part of the celebration, you are a part of the celebration. So the point is, but there's much more to celebrate. So it takes every year that you celebrate, you bring back searchlight, sunshine on areas which need to be brought out to celebrate. So I think it's worth it.
Given the recent increase in number of violence against women and female children, you would have seen in the news that 3-year-old children are being raped and murdered. 7-year-old child was raped and murdered. Are we in a place where even the children have to be conscious about their own protection?
Yes, I concede that there's an increase in violence in society as a whole, which includes violence against women. Crimes against women were always there. Earlier, it was hidden and unreported. To my mind, now it is not hidden. It's getting to be more exposed and also being addressed. So, we should not feel dismayed by that. On the contrary, see, look at the number of women helplines today. Look at the crimes against women, women centers, police centers, women police officers, which did not exist earlier. You have the National Commission for Women. You have a Crimes Against Women, a Domestic Violence Act for the first time. You have it there. You have the law concerning any sexual harassment against women in the offices. You did not have these laws. You have a tougher rape law. The punishment on rape now is much heavier and it's non-bailable. So you have tougher laws, you have more police, more awareness, more reporting, right? And also women are being trained in self-defense to become more confident. So all this was not there till a few years ago. So there's a big shift, but there is more to be doing. And I think the onus on that solution lies within the society itself.
Like you mentioned, yes, we're working towards a shift. But speaking of Kiran Bedi, I can come up with a long list of adjectives to describe you, your works. But what people relate to the most when they think or envision Kiran Bedi in their minds is she's bold and outspoken. If I would ask you to describe yourself in your own words, what would it be?
I'm very justice oriented. I'm very sensitive to injustice. And I'm very sensitive to the needs of the people. And I'm very sensitive towards duty. I'm very conscientious by nature. I'm very duty oriented. I've learned to become very duty conscious. My mother was very conscientious on her duty. So I've learned that duty habit, not from my father, but from my mother. I'm a very self-driven person. That's my nature. And then I expect others also to be self-driven. That's my way I could describe myself.
In 1972, India saw its first woman IPS officer, and in 1975, you're the only woman to lead an all-men contingent in the Republic Day Parade. Is your situation today as the Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry similar to what you had to go through in 1975, leading an all-men?
This too is all-men almost.
Yes.
You see, the Puducherry government, cabinet has no woman. So it's still very male-driven. It's very male-closed system here. It's very male-driven. It's still very male here in Puducherry. I don't know why. You don't have a female cabinet minister. You do not have a female secretary from the Indian Administrative Services. And you just have 2 or 3 women in the Puducherry civil service here, out of thousands of people and men. So officers, hundreds of them. So I think it's still very male-driven. It will take a long time. If good women, bright women, sensitive women, duty-conscious women, self-driven women, honest women,
yes,
if they join public administration, they can change the country. Politicians come and go. Public servants stay on. Remember that.
Is there enough space for a free-thinking woman, for a self-driven woman to work on what she believes in to work on what she feels is right, not being biased by external pressure?
She can, because she has the power of law. She has not to be afraid of anybody. She just has to have the power of law, understand that she'll be trained. So she has to have just the courage to enforce the law. Now, courage is very important. Why would she enter the service without courage? But unfortunately, what happens is once we all enter the service, we become afraid. We lose that courage. We are afraid of our senior. We are afraid of the political masters. We are afraid of the unknown. So if we are not afraid and we continue to enforce the law properly by the rules and principles, you can do so much of good.
What was the transformation within that took place inside of you when you decided to step into politics?
For me, it was a continuity of, for me, politics is not party. For me, politics is public life. For me, politics stands for public administration. For me, politics is serving communities. For me, politics is not division or into ideology A, B or C. For me, politics stands for public life, to serve the people with integrity.
Now that you're here as the Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry, what is your understanding of the people of Puducherry? What are the issues here?
See, I took over as Lieutenant Governor Puducherry on 29th of May last year. And do you know, on the 2nd June, I was doing field rounds to check the drains, to check the Grand Canal. Absolutely. It was stinking and full of silt. We started to desilt it. It was started then, because I cannot work in a dirty area. So Swachh Puducherry was our major goal. How do we make it Swachh? So Swachh Puducherry became a movement where volunteers, traders, RWAs, students, NGOs, activists, public officials, we all got involved in making it Swachh Puducherry. So Swachh Puducherry was a message. So we have made it cleaner than before. Our beach is 100% clean, but there's so much more to do. So and then we have a Swachhta Corporation. It's a partnership between government and municipal authorities who do source segregation and collect the garbage. We yet have to treat the garbage, which we have collected tons of garbage. We have to convert it into manure yet. But streets are cleaner. So Puducherry is more Swachh. Secondly, Puducherry is safer. So it's Swachh Puducherry, it's Surakshit Puducherry, which is safer Puducherry. Through that we have a beat system, a beat officer system. They go on the bikes, they visit houses every day, 5 people every day. They're a rule. They check past criminals. We have traffic warden students involved for traffic road safety. So it's safer Puducherry, Swachh Puducherry, and then prosperous Puducherry, which means we making citizens more law-abiding. They pay their taxes better, right? They understand the rule of digitization. And now the GST coming in. So we continue to train, educate the commercial community so that Puducherry becomes prosperous. It has more revenues, and it also collects its own revenues, whether through sanitation, property taxes, water, sewerage treatment. These are revenues to the municipality, because Government of India anyway supports us in a big way, because it's a union territory. So while the Government of India supports, we also earn, and we also use it safely and cleanly. So Swachh Puducherry, Surakshit, safe Puducherry and prosperous Puducherry was my goal when I took over as Lieutenant Governor Puducherry. And we're continuing this theme, and now the system is set. You don't need me all the time now. It can run by itself.
Since you mentioned the date of 29th of May, your swearing in date, I've read your tweets and it says that you're about to step down on 29th of May on 2018. Is this timeline, 2 years, enough to achieve what you have in mind for Puducherry?
No, not necessarily. I think one should stay in a place as long as one is fully contributing. You should not waste a single day when your contribution reduces. I believe in value for time. I must be where I can contribute fully. I've already contributed fully. Therefore, I think I like to stay on only as long as I can contribute fully. Otherwise, somebody else should come who's then willing to start contributing again. So I believe in respecting time. Puducherry's time, my time. As long as Puducherry needs me and it makes me give my time fully, I will stay. Till then, otherwise I'll go. Why should I waste anybody's time?
Are there any challenges that you're facing in putting these tasks in force?
Yes, there are. There are. Because when you make Swachh Puducherry, when you make Safe Puducherry, and when you yourself lead the change, and also you make a good amount of revenue generation, it does hurt people, or it does disturb people. It does.
In what way?
Unfortunately, I do not know. I do not know, but it does disturb people. I've seen it disturbing people, and I think it does. It raises a challenge by itself, but that does not disturb me because I'm here for my duty. But it does disturb people because they start wondering, why not they? Why she? But the question is, you also do what I'm doing. And if you also do, you will also get recognized and respected and admired by people. So there is a issue of element where it's not easily digestible. It's a fact. That's a fact of human life. And it's not the first time it's happening in my career. It happens all the time.
Puducherry has not seen such a governor before this. No governor has stepped down, gone to the streets, meet the people, and get what she has in her mind done at the spot. You're doing that. You get to meet the people. You get to meet the people that you're so dedicated to serve. What do the people tell you when they see you in person? And also, you have this scheme of people coming to get to visit their Lieutenant Governor these days. What do the people come and visit you for? Is it the charm that you have about yourself? Are they here to see the Kiran Bedi, or are they here to, rectify their problems?
The open house, for 2 hours we stand. My private secretary, Mr. Sridhar, and I, then another person, Mr. Srinivasan, and Amritha Lingam. This is a team which works together as open house. So the Sridharan, Srinivas, and then Amritha Lingam, these are 3 very good grievance redressal people. We work together. Open house for 2 hours. We stand and listen to people. And they take a token to come. And they are the poorest of the poor coming. Somebody for a house, somebody for women's security, somebody for cleaning of their own lane, somebody to cut a tree, somebody to get a pension, somebody to get a ration card, right? Somebody to get an old age pension, or a medical support, or a student coming for my paper, or a post, or a transfer of an officer which is held up for years. Everything which has come here in the open house last 8 months were those matters which were stuck for years. 8 years, 9 years, 4 years, 3 years. Their work has got attended because we believe in getting things done. So whoever has come with a hope that the Lieutenant Governor office will not be a post office. And they also come back to say thank you.
A base of a pyramid in administration is local body. Puducherry had not had elections in the local body for over 28 years. It happened in around 2005 and 6. It was only 1 term. And after that, we have still not we don't have any news about local body elections happening here in Puducherry. You, a person who gets down to the people and gets things done. How do you see this, and what are your measures to sort that issue out and give Puducherry people their local body officers?
I've asked the government to start looking at having local body elections. I've already asked. I'm for it.
Yes.
Because local body elections will help organize the youth in every village. At the moment, whenever I've done a rural visit, Saturday or a Sunday, as you know, I go for a 6:30 morning round. When I ask them, you are making complaints to me, why did you not go to your local MLA? And they said, we have not met him. I asked them, has he come to you after the elections? They said, no. I said, doesn't matter, you go to him. Make a complaint. The question is, they're not organized. So they are individuals. So I think we need, and by local body elections, they will form their local panchayats. And the local panchayats then could have their own budgets. So they work on the streets, they work on the cleanliness and water harvesting, they look at their drains, they look at the local schools, they look at their dispensary. I think we need local panchayat elections here to help the local youth, the educated youth, men and women, to come together and solve their own local problems once they're trained. On the contrary, I think we are bound by the Supreme Court judgment to be holding these local body elections.
Yes.
It's time the Puducherry government goes in for local body elections.
I have met several women in Puducherry who want a reformation in Puducherry to ensure that there is gender parity. And speaking of gender parity, International Women's Day came into effect, to establish gender parity. Are we far from attaining it? Is that gender parity in existence, or do we have to work for it?
I think we must work for it. All these women in of my kind positions, of areas of influence, I think they need to spread out into the villages and urban bodies and identify women who got this leadership skills and organizational skills and prepare them for the local body elections whenever they come, as soon as possible. Because it's a court directive, which we are bound to. It will come sooner or later. It's a matter of time. So why not start the preparation? Start creating women leadership now. If these women can fan out to the villages and start developing women leadership now, when the elections come, they'll be ready. And let's not let that go not on political lines, on party lines. Let them become as independent candidates so that they can serve everybody in a more inclusive way and not in a divisive way.
What is the current status of the campaigns that you started for the betterment of Puducherry?
It's gone into people now. It's a movement of the people. All we have to do is continue to generate. So this is what we are trying to do constantly. But when I came over, one of the first things we did was we created social networking groups of teachers, of welfare associations already, who are now being led by the concerned directors. Director Education has his own group. Social Welfare has his own WhatsApp group. So they're also all on WhatsApp groups. So they've already formed groups. So we are forming groups of groups so that they continue to communicate with each other. And Raj Nivas becomes a community mobilizer and creator of future leadership.
Given today's scenario, if we consider the list of women leaders or say political leaders in India, it is quite scanty. Why are we failing to create more women leaders, political leaders? Where do we fall short?
They are existing. Media must give them visibility. You just have to make them more visible. Go into the villages, go into towns. You will come across women leadership, but they're not visible. Media must highlight them. They must showcase them. You must present them and let people see them. So I think the key is visibility. Women are actually the transformers. The entire NGO leadership is in the hands of women, almost. Men are supporting them, or somewhere the men are leading. But whatever NGOs I've seen so far in Puducherry are almost women-led, men-supported. So I think you need to go and give them visibility. They are invisible. I've seen amazing sacrificial. They have donated their land. They've donated their own families. Their only husband-wife team. The wife is the leader. See, social work is coming naturally to a woman. It's a very natural genes. Therefore, you need to make them visible. And one day they could come into local body leadership as well. And the social work then can be enlarged. So I think if media goes around identifying such women leadership at the grassroots level, you will see more women leadership emerge.
But do they all have the space to climb up the ladder and, to hold positions of leading the state? Is that possible?
Leaders.
They are
already
leaders
managers. No, they're already managers. They could not have done this change if they were not leaders, if they hadn't got the leadership. Leader is not a position. Leader is an art of delivery. It's the art of service. It's the way you change. It's the art of transformation. That's a leader. What's a leader who sits in a high position but does nothing? That's a leader only by occupation, not by earning, not by deserving. So we are not looking for leaders who occupy position, but leaders who deliver, but may not be in a high pedestal. But these are women who are transforming. To me, any person who transforms and makes things better is a leader.
If India were to be really proud, no crimes against women, no depressing or suppressing the women, and stand tall and celebrate, be a part of the International Women's Day celebration, what would be the key achievement that India would have to now work towards attaining, and so that we can see that day very soon?
Bring women to the fore. Bring women into public administration. Every woman is not cut up for party politics, but a woman is cut up for public administration. Let 50% of public administration be run by women, but by merit. That means prepare them. Prepare them for civil services examinations, state service examinations, board exams. Prepare them and make them better leaders. They then will serve the community much better. They will be all inclusive. They'll not belong to any political party. The only message will be serving the people of India, not party A or B. That is what you need.
You said you would stay here as long as you believe you're in a position to contribute, not reap from what you already contributed. What is your plan in taking up your journey forward?
Time alone will tell. I do not know.
But Kiran Bedi is never to retire.
Kiran Bedi's life, Kiran Bedi, as long as has good health, is there to serve. Is there always to serve and make the difference in others' lives.
Thank you so much for your participation, ma'am. And once again, I would like to wish you on International Women's Day.
Very happy Women's Day. Thank you.